Welcome back, horror fans, cinephiles, and Giallo enthusiasts. This is Tanner Leeser, your host for all things Giallo here on The King in Giallo, and this is a long time coming. This is another unscripted talking head movie review. This is for the 1973 Giallo, The Bloodstained Lawn. This disc came courtesy of the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray box set that came out in October of 2025, which is Bloodstained Italy, which also came with Death Falls Lightly, 1972 Giallo, and Obscene Desire, 1978. I think it's like an Exorcism and Rosemary's Baby ripoff. Not really a Giallo at all. I've been meaning to talk about this earlier, but things happened. I moved, and it's been kind of crazy falling into the new work schedule, but I won't bore you with that. I will say this now, just to get this out of the way. You're going to see white in my beard, residual white. That's because I'm in a performance right now. And anyways, I'll explain more of that later after the review for anyone who wants to stick around. But yeah, let's get right to it. So 1973, this is directed by Riccardo Ghione, who also wrote it. But this movie stars Marina, Malfatti, Enzo, Tarascio, Daniela, Caroli, George Willing, Claudio, Biava, Dominique Boschero, and Nino Castelnuovo. And the music was composed by Teo Usueli. There are some Giallo veterans in this. Not a whole lot, but Marina Malfatti has certainly been in a number. Enzo Tarascio has been in a good amount as well. I kind of don't know where to start with this one. I came across this movie earlier this year, months before the Bloodstained Italy box set was announced, which, by the way, I also will do a product review for that. I've been meaning to. It's just, like I said, it's just life has been a little chaotic. But this review is going to be just literally on what I think the quality of this movie is, separate from what I believe the quality of the Blu-ray is. Because I hate going on Amazon looking up a Blu-ray or 4K or whatever you might be searching for, a release of an older movie, and you're like, okay, I just want to make sure that like it's the right cut, the aspect ratio is good, maybe there's some special features, and people go to Amazon to leave like 1-star review, and it's basically like, I didn't like this movie, I couldn't get into it. It's like, okay, well, sorry buddy, but that's not where you're supposed to really leave your review for the movie. This is for the product. But anyways, this video, I will be telling you about the movie. Okay, so I'd heard about this movie earlier this year. I was told about it, asked about it, because I don't recall if this is in, I don't believe this is in So Deadly, So Perverse, 50 Years of Italian Giallo Films, Volume 1, 1963 to 1973, and being 1973, it would be in here. I can check real quick. I don't believe it is, because I would have already found it. Yeah, there's only like 7 or 8 1973 Giallo films in here. But as I've said this also before, Troy Howarth has a more strict definition of what he calls a Giallo film, and mine's a little bit more open-ended. So yeah, I'd found out about this movie. I was asked if I was going to cover it, and I saw that it was 1973, so I was like, well, I mean, I'll get around to it when I get to 1973, and I'll try and find a video of it streaming and do one of these unscripted reviews, and I'll include it in the Forgotten Giallo Films. And I'd found a forum, not a forum, I found someone's blog talking about it, and I had the tab open. I was like, cool, I'll reference this later. And then as it came about, like 2 or 3 months down the line, Vinegar Syndrome announced the Bloodstained Italy box set, and I saw Death Falls Lightly in there, which I was like, oh, son of a bitch. I literally talked about that movie earlier this year. And I saw The Bloodstained Lawn, and I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, I haven't seen that, but cool. It'll help me. It'll justify me buying this, because that's one more Giallo movie that I don't have. And then it had, what's it called? Obscure Desire, whatever. Which I was like, I've never heard of that. But yeah, anyways, I've covered all of those movies so far. I talked about Death Falls Lightly earlier this year because it happened to be in the 1972 run of movies. But if I recall, I couldn't tell if the movie was released in early 1972 or late 1972. There was not a reliable release date for it, at least at the time that I was looking. Maybe that's changed now, but I just covered it when I did cover it. Anyways, Bloodstained Lawn. Thank you for sticking with me there. Honest thoughts for this movie. Dude, this one is weird. This one is bizarre. I'll read the little IMDb plot synopsis for this. Mysterious individuals pick up hitchhikers, prostitutes, and bums off the streets and take them back to their large villa where they are initially treated with generosity and kindness, but things slowly take a turn for the worse. Yeah, I mean, that basically describes the plot of the movie without giving anything away. God, I really don't even know where to begin with this movie. It did remind me a little bit, especially in how it starts, of the night Evelyn came out of the grave, which, funny enough, because Enzo Tarascio is also in that movie, and I believe Marina Malfatti is also in that. Marina Malfatti's. They're both in it. And funny enough, there's a character called Miraglia, and the director of the night Evelyn came out of the grave is Emilio P. Miraglia. Weird references. But anyways, yeah, it's just kind of like a collection of people ending up at this villa. And we find this, I don't know if he's like a customs agent or he works for the government, and he's finding crates of wine, which some have blood in them. And so this guy's trying to get to the bottom of that. So there's that investigation, which is kind of like a B plot or even a C plot. And then you just got these people, you got these two hippies coming to the villa. And that also then made me think, oh yeah, there's many sub genres of giallo, and one of them, which I had overlooked, is just hippie exploitation, I guess is what you would call it, where it just has like, young hippies. It's either going to be in the 60s or the 70s, and it's just kind of, it really is like early slasher fare in terms of, let's watch these kids who are debaucherous, who have different morals than what society deems appropriate. Let's watch bad things happen to them. And you know what? I would say oftentimes they actually do make it out alive in those types of movies. Like the giallo films that come to mind, I'm like, no, they actually survived. Whatever. But that's a easy way for a writer or a director to inject commentary on society, just have them being the mouthpieces for it, or just have other characters, I hate this word, but juxtaposing them and their values, whatever. Anyways, yeah, Bloodstained Lawn. So I will say also that about 50 minutes or so goes through without anything really happening. This is one where you've just got people sitting around, you're kind of meeting these interesting and weird characters. And so Tarascio's character, the doctor, he always wears these oversized bow ties. I didn't know what that was all about. Was that really a early 70s thing? I don't know. And then there was a guy who was like just perpetually inebriated. He was always drinking, and I think he was supposed to be comedic relief, but it wasn't quite funny. But funny enough, I will say funny enough, is that he had like a small beard, and then he was like balding, and from here up, it was like whitish. It was as if the white beard stuff that I was using to whiten my beard was used to whiten the top of his head. But it was just funny because once it crossed a certain line, it was just like an auburn beard. And I'm like, why didn't they just do the rest of it? I'm assuming that was not natural hair color. Anyways, that was just a throwaway thing. So this is where this movie gets weird, because a lot of people talk about this movie for it being weird, and some people will even say it's sort of a sci-fi giallo. I wouldn't go that far to say it's a sci-fi giallo. The reason why people say that is because the villa is run by this scientist guy who kind of fulfills this weird trope of the mad scientist. So I would say this is almost like a gothic mad scientist hippie exploitation giallo. I think that kind of encapsulates it. But holy shit, this guy has like a weird fascination with blood, it seems. And he's got these little, like, it's almost like if you went to like the house of someone who used to like work in props in Hollywood, and they just kind of have these little robot little things that just dance or make noises. And there's this very like 1960s Forbidden Planet type robot thing in the background with all the like tubes for arms, and it seems to have like an opening with more tubes and stuff. It almost looks like it has guts, like lungs or whatever, and it's got these little claw arms. And that comes up, And I knew that was going to come up because somebody had spoiled that for me. And I was like, thanks. But anyways, yeah, so we don't really see anybody get killed until about an hour and 10 minutes into the movie. Once we cross like the 50-minute mark, I think we start hearing people getting killed off screen. And it's basically just screaming, ah! And it's always funny because you'll hear over the top screaming, and then you'll cut to the room where everyone's hanging out, and only one person is ever like, did you hear that? Everybody else is just like, what? Bizarre. I mean, it made for some good funny moments. And then there was another part in this movie where it reminded me of The Laughing Woman, where he has this, you know, the crazy guy in charge of this weird villa has this room that's just like a woman's legs splaying open. And in this, it's the same thing. It's the evil scientist, mad scientist guy. He opens up this room which leads into his laboratory, and it's like a number of round shapes which very much look like you're up close against woman's legs, pelvis, pubic bone, and then like privates. And even one of the hippies starts laughing, and then he dives through it, and I was like, ah ha ha, that's good. That was actually pretty funny. That made me chuckle. And then they go in there, and then it's kind of like pseudo Frankenstein, you know, like I said, with the altar, someone lays down on it. Dominique Boschero plays this prostitute character, so it was good to see her again. And then the mad scientist hits some controls, and this robot whirs in behind her, and she doesn't notice it because the music's too loud, and she's like asking too many questions, like, what am I supposed to do? Doesn't somebody want to do something? I guess I'll just sit here on this table. What are you looking at? It's just all this shit, and everyone's just kind of watching horrified. And then she turns around, notices it, he hits a button, and the robot like stabs her with its little claw arm and starts sucking her blood out. And you find out then and there that, oh, they've been siphoning blood off of people and putting them in bottles and selling them to people who want it. And there is some cool, bizarre imagery in the movie, like the hippies walking around and finding I think it's supposed to be a meat freezer, but it certainly doesn't look like one on the inside. But it's got like, I don't know, 8 naked dead bodies lying in a corner. There's a part where they find all the bottles, and sure enough, some of them definitely have blood in them. There's a part where wine is coming out of the shower when they're showering, and all that is to say that I didn't really find this movie that interesting. There's a lot of stuff like that which makes it, oh, that's one of a kind, that's unique. I remember going through this whole movie like, so are these people supposed to be vampires? Is this almost going to be like a whodunit Giallo mystery about like uncovering what's happening, and you find out these people are vampires or wannabe vampires or something, kind of like the whole supposed murders that happened around the Simon Necronomicon? I don't know. I was going along for the ride, but it certainly was a lot of like, check the runtime. Okay, we still have about 45 minutes left. Checking again. Okay, we still have about 38 minutes left. Yeah, and so I do apologize if you were expecting me to say that I absolutely love this movie, because I'm sorry, I just didn't. But again, this is the point of these videos is for me to just give my honest thoughts on a movie. And honestly speaking, I just thought this movie was okay. And now that I've seen the 3 movies in the Bloodstained Italy box set, again, this is a rough, because if someone was to say, people will ask me sometimes like, hey, this new box set is out, or hey, this old box set, do you think it's worth it? And it's like, that's for you to decide. I mean, if you're buying any of these box sets purely based on if they're good movies, I mean, again, that's your opinion. I am going to buy these because I'm a collector and because I have a Giallo YouTube channel, but that's it. I mean, if I didn't have the channel, I probably would not buy this box set, honestly. If I'd gone into it like having seen all the movies, knowing whether I like them or not, I can't say Death Falls Lightly, Bloodstained Lawn, or Obscene Desire, or whatever it's called. I can't say any of them are really movies that I would like really want to own outside of me being a Giallo film collector. That's just my thoughts. You know, it's not like I'm getting paid by Vinegar Syndrome or Arrow or any of these companies to promote any of their products. It would be cool if I was like, go to Arrow and put in promo code TheKingG, you know, but no, I don't get that kind of pull. Not yet. But anyways, yeah. So also, Bloodstained Lawn, does the title fit it? No. No. There's not that many kills. And there's only really the one kill that we see with the robot. Other than that, it's like someone getting shot, someone getting judo chopped. It's honestly, it's fine. It's interesting. It's different, but it's also kind of the same in terms of a lot of these C, D tier Giallo films, just kind of meandering. That's a word that, you know, really comes up a lot when I'm thinking about some of these Giallo films that, again, are not B tier, A tier, S tier. It's just meandering. The movie has a few interesting things, but it's kind of banking on the fact that you'll be invested in the mystery to stick around. They'll throw a couple boobs at you or a couple asses at you, thinking that that's buying them some time before they, you know, get to the thing that they paid the money for. Other than that, the movie just kind of wanders around and just kind of does its thing, and that's fine. And again, this is no disrespect to anybody who enjoys this movie. I can see the appeal to this movie, but I would honestly say check out The Night Evelyn Came Out of the Grave instead, or if you've seen that, check out The Laughing Woman. And again, it baffles me that people will say that's not a Giallo film. I'm like, that's not, but Bloodstained Lawn is. It was fine. The title, like I said, it doesn't really fit. I did think it was funny because I think there was a line early in the movie where the hippies are looking out over a field and there's a bunch of like red flowers, and she says like, oh, it looks like a blood-stained lawn. And I'm just like, ring the bell, that's it. Ding, 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 ding. We have the title. Everybody walks out of the theater with $5. So sorry, that's all I've got to say about this movie. If you came for the review, that's it. You can go home now. If anybody wants to stick around, I'll just enlighten you on what's going on. So yeah, I did move out of Seattle. I moved back to the desert, and it's been just hard getting the ball rolling in terms of doing videos for the channel, because I immediately went into a new job where I work back at my theater company that I was volunteering at in like years past, but now I'm working there full time. And it's just like one show immediately bleeds into the next show. So when one show is in rehearsals, tech week, performance runs, which is 3 weekends, now the next show is in tech week and then immediately goes up. So there's just no time. And so I went from doing, I'm the technical supervisor who oversees the light design, the sound design, and everything like that. I was assistant stage manager for this first show when I came in, which was a musical called Head Over Heels. Then we went into, after closing that show, went into a Christmas show we have called A Double Wide Texas Christmas. Very Texasy. I don't know how else to put it. But that, again, technical supervisor for every show. I'm also spotlight operator, and I play two characters, one of which is off stage. I actually do the character from the tech booth overlooking the stage. In this microphone, I actually brought my own microphone. I was like, I prefer this microphone because I've used it for 2 years. I know the handle of it. I can turn it on and off. The other microphone they had me using was like, had a handle that was like really small. And I was like, I'm going to drop this. I was like, I'd rather use my own microphone on my own stand. And I do that character. Doing that character is supposed to be a television presenter, like Welcome to Totally Texas Television, and I do that in a Joe Bob Briggs impersonation. And I even ad-libbed a little Joe Bob Briggs line. I was supposed to just say like, oh, that is from the town of Double Wide. Thank you for watching Totally Texas Television. And I go, thank you for watching Totally Texas Television. This is Handsome Harley Dobbs reminding you that there are 24 hours in a day and 24 cans of beer in a case. Coincidence? I think not. And then I play a character who comes in the very final scene. That's why I have the white in my beard, because I come in. Anyways, it's not important. But if you're in Southern California, you can come check it out. There's still 2 more weekends. And then after that show, we immediately go into rehearsals for Neil Simon's Laughter on the 23rd Floor, which I'm directing, which is just like, dude, I just don't have time between pulling all this overtime every week. I just don't really have time to work on the channel. So it took me way longer to finish the Jolly Tally for White Dress for Mariella. Also, I just didn't really like that movie. So that was just like, ugh, there's many other things I'd rather be working on. Other than that, yeah, I do plan on having a product review for Bloodstained Italy. Maybe. Product reviews are just not really my thing. I just feel like they take more time than they're worth. But hey, they do sometimes get decent views because people are interested in a product. I'm going to do a review for Hyena in a Safe. I would also like to do a product review for that. And I still then need to do a Jolly Tally for Death Falls Lightly now that has come out on Blu-ray. So now it's like, I gotta go back and do a full scripted Jolly Tally for that. And then I will give you the 1972 best of Giallo films. Best of Giallo films for 1972. Whatever I call those videos. And holy shit, ladies and gentlemen, it was the most jam-packed year. I mean, how many movies did we cover? Over 40, 50, something like that. Like, holy shit. And for the most part, I think I saw all of them. I think there's only a handful of 1972 Giallo films I could not find on the internet, and some of them I found and they were just like no subtitles. I had to do auto-generated subtitles, and that was a fucking nightmare. But yeah, so I gotta say thank you again to everybody who still has stuck it out and has stayed with me. I'm especially grateful for the people who are my patrons. I did lose a couple people, but I get it. You know, if you're paying and there's no content coming up, I get it. I do get it. But thank you really especially to the people who've stuck it out and are still my patrons. And yeah, because that's really the only way I do make money. Around December 15th, I should be able to reappeal to YouTube to get monetized once again, but I honestly don't fucking care about making money from YouTube. They don't pay me enough. Like, some videos I'll look and it's like, oh wow, this video's been out for over a year and a half and it's generated $2. Oh wow, let me go cash that out right now. So for me, in my channel, it's really not the money that matters, it's the reach. Because when you're a YouTube partner, suddenly you're getting viewed by more people, you're popping up on more people's YouTube feeds. And so that's what I want. Whatever, I'm rambling. Thank you so much for sticking through. And yeah, this is Tanner Leeser for The King in Giallo. And if nothing else, I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching, folks.